The clock is ticking. Sequence 34. Sita had allowed Thomas Backboat to have his way with her. She had given in completely to him when he came back and wanted to have sex with her again that night. She let him do things to her that no man had ever done to her, and she loved every bit of it. He was too rough with her this time around that she blacked out for a few seconds and only coming fully back to consciousness when he pulled out of her. The pain was still radiating through her body as he helped her up and untied her hands and legs. Then he helped her clean up, tending to the bruises he had inflicted on her body. He might be cruel and all, but Sita loved him. She was so dependent on him. She was vulnerable to his touch, though she wanted him under different circumstances, not in the master and servant kind of way. She wanted him to take her in his arms and hold her. She wanted him to kiss her tenderly. She wanted his love. Yes, he was cruel to her, but part of her still hoped he would one day become hers. "Next time you disrespect me, I will murder you," he Sadie's master. She was exhausted and her whole body felt sore. She wrapped herself in a towel before she left his room for hers. "Your breakfast is ready," she said, getting down on her knees the next morning. He smiled at her. "Thank you." "The new house is ready. You need to start packing." "Yes, master." There was a knock at the door before he could say something else. Thomas knew who was at the door. "I will handle this. Go back to your room and don't show your face here until my visitor leaves." "Sure." She rushed back to her room, wondering who had come to see him this early. "Come in," he called out, and the door opened, revealing Chrissy. She smiled as she walked towards him. He smiled back at her, genuinely happy to see her. Tom," she said, leaning down for a kiss, and to her surprise he didn't pull away. He didn't stop her. He kissed her back. He lingered for a moment before breaking apart. "It's good to see you, kiddo." He Sadie, "I'm not a kid." She smiled, sitting down across him. "You will always be my little girl," he said. She blushed. Thomas always made her feel so comfortable and at ease. They had a fling a year ago when he had appeared after being away for years. One thing led to another and they had sex. He had disappeared again, only to reappear this year with a mission to marry her sister. She had kept her distance this time around because she was engaged and they had buried what they had. "So what can I offer you?" he asked. "What do you have?" "Me." He smiled. He wouldn't mind. She laughed. The sex between them had been great. She wouldn't mind, but now she had pressing issues at hand. He stood round to the bar and picked up a bottle of vodka. He poured her a glass and handed it to her, then he poured himself one. "I haven't heard from you in a while. I was surprised when you called. You have been busy running after my sister to give me any attention. Besides, I lost my phone, so I didn't have your number. You have been too busy preparing for your wedding. How could I get close?" She laughed. "Fine, we are both to blame for the distance." "You can say that again. So how are you?" "I am suffering. Your sister doesn't want me." "My sister is actually the reason I am here." "Is she okay? Is there a problem?" "No." "Then, I want to help you marry her." "How?" "I don't want my sister to marry Chard. He is toxic, hence I will do anything to make she ends up with you and not him." He stopped drinking and gave her a confused look. "Why don't you want him?" "Let's just say I had an encounter with him in the past." "OMG. What? You had sex with him?" "Fine, yes." She rolled her eyes. "This guy seems to be a man whore. Seems every woman wants him to herself." "What do you mean? Why should I trust you? You know I have never liked my sister." "I won't start now. I know. I don't want her ending up with a man I was once attracted to." "Fine, I will trust you and fill you in on the plan." She smiled. "You are the bomb. ****. So I will be waiting to hear from you soon," she said as he walked her to the door. "When we meet up over the weekend, we shall finalize and phase 1 of the plan will commence." "Okay, in the meantime just keep me updated with what's going on with Chard and your sister." "Sure." Once at the door, he grabbed and kissed her passionately before pulling away. "Sorry I got carried away. We should link up and have some fun for old time's sake. Sake," she Sadia. "Bye." She winked at him and walked out. Chrissy had always been attracted to men older than her. In fact, Jericho was the only young guy she had been with. She knew her mother would have never agreed to her settling down with someone way older than she was. Her phone rang just as she got into the car. It was her mother calling. "Ma, the caterer has come. I still have one more place to head to and then I will head back home. Okay, Jerry Nasa. Ah, he should be on his way. Okay, coming soon. Asterisk 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 asterisk. She stood in front of his door, almost afraid to knock. What if he kicked her out like the last time she had been here? She couldn't handle another rejection from him. Finally she rapped on the door and waited. Chard answered the door. The door creaked as he opened it. He peered out and didn't give her a chance to speak. Why are you here? He demanded. Aren't you going to ask me to come in? You can say whatever you want to say right here, he said in his usual tone that made her go weak in the knees. I want you back, she said. Pardon? I want you back, she smirked. He was never yours in the first place, so this is absurd. Please. I love your sister. I am more beautiful. I am younger. I can offer you more. So you think? Yes. I am sorry, but I am not interested. I love Maddie and I can never hurt her. She moved closer and held his hand. Chard. He yanked his hand off her grip and took a step backward. He wasn't going to allow himself to get caught up in her charm. Leave. But, just leave, Chrissy. What we had was just sex. Move on. What does Maddie have that I don't have? She snapped. A self-respect, he responded. She glanced at him for a second. You will be mine again, I swear, she said before she turned and walked away. Chrissy angrily got into her car and slammed the door shut. Chard was hers. He didn't know it yet, but she wasn't giving up without a fight.